Okay, Sistas fans, I am going back, all the way back to May of this year, when Season 7 information was revealed. New characters, new writers. Yeah, I'm talking way back. Yeah, go back mentally. May 2023. I did a lot of videos about all the new information about Season 7. So if you don't want, honestly, I don't feel like this video is going to be super spoilery, but it does cover some details about one particular character that may actually confirm. And again, this is not confirmed, but it may, I guess you could say, add fuel to the fire of, okay, these new writers, they might be kicking things up a notch in Season 7. So, we're talking about the character of Trey. He's going to be introduced in Season 7. And according to the information from back then, Season 7, Episode 2, entitled Drunk in Love. The character description: in his 30s, cute but rough around the edges. Trey is a delivery guy who drops off some packages at the salon. He has a flirty exchange with Karen, much to Pam's chagrin. Now, the most important part about this character: at the salon. Now, based off of last week's episode of Sistas, what did we learn from Brian? Well, he came over to Karen's with the estimation for the repairs. But most importantly, and what's relevant to the point of this video, is he said it could take around 5 months, 5 months to fix up the salon. So we only have 4 episodes left in Season 6. This guy Trey is supposed to show up in Season 7, Episode 2. That's what, about half a dozen episodes. The only way, and look, we all know the timeline stuff and Tyler Perry shows is all over the place, but the only way this could make sense is if there is possibly a time skip between Season 6 and 7. Now remember, new writers are taking the show over, and that could just introduce a completely new vibe to the series. So there might indeed be a time jump. Think back to what Novi Brown said in an interview earlier this year. She said, for people, I can't really give that many spoilers away about the next season, but I will say this: there will be a baby bump. There will be a baby bump. And, you know, obviously we know Penelope has one now, but I'm talking about Karen. The little, I guess you could say, semi-noticeable bump she has could be even bigger next season. And it only makes sense due to there being a time skip. Now, you could kind of debunk things like, for example, well, Jeremy, it says this guy Trey is dropping off packages at the salon. Maybe that just means that at this point, the salon is referring to Karen's salon from her house. So it really isn't a time jump at all. Or perhaps she decides to rent out a different space in Atlanta to do her salon business up until the point where her old building is repaired. That's a possibility too. But given how Season 7, based off of all the information that was revealed earlier this year, it just feels like we're doing things completely differently. It does seem like a time jump could indeed be the most likely explanation for this. And I remember doing a video on this character Trey about, is Karen getting a new love interest in Season 7? And this Trey does come across as like a pseudo Zach, someone who's working, everyday job. He's attractive but rough around the edges, which kind of describes Zach, when he was working at the airport. And it's funny, he has a flirty exchange with Karen, much to Pam's chagrin, which could mean that perhaps Pam is possibly attracted to Trey, kind of like she was to Brian, but Trey is flirting with Karen instead of her. That's what I'm thinking here. And even though, this description doesn't, you could say it doesn't confirm it, but I feel like this is possibly another one of those, maybe this is a sign Aaron isn't in the season, with Trey flirting with Karen just may be a sign that, she is indeed single and trying to focus on her job and her baby, and men are kind of, flirting with her, just like possibly Brian is. So if there is a time jump, this would indeed be interesting. And not to get too deep into other characters, but Jordan, who I believe is still supposed to be in season 7, he's going to be running for like Congress, senator, mayor. He's running for some political position, and apparently he and Andy are still seeing each other. And then Gary, like, I guess what's the word I'm looking for? He donates money to the campaign and whatnot, but then things kind of get a bit crazy in terms of like his fiance Penelope goes missing, and then something happens to Jordan, and for some reason he and Andy are planning their wedding because it's possibly some sort of blackmail or something. Because I know that Andy has an associate who comes in and tries to dig up some dirt on Gary. So due to them, planning their wedding, it definitely doesn't seem like Andy's willingly doing this. Gary's manipulating her somehow. So things are going to definitely heat up next season. But again, I think it is quite possible we will have a time jump. So I know a lot of people, because allegedly season 7 is supposed to start on January 3rd. So I think the 10th will be episode 2 and Trey is introduced. But then again, when the season premieres, I'm pretty sure there is a time jump we'll know in that first episode. So come back here. Yeah, it is December 3rd right now. So on January 3rd, after the episode airs, come back to this channel on this particular video and let me know whether or not the time jump is actually legit. Not to mention, if there is a trailer that is released in the week between seasons, then we should know from that as well. So who knows? But regardless, everybody, thanks so much for tuning in and supporting the channel. This week has been pretty big. Numbers have been up, especially on the Leslie tried to warn Andy back in season 1 video, and the other videos about, just all the Gary stuff, the episode reviews. The live stream did well, so it seems like the channel is truly getting back on its feet from the demonetization phase a few months ago. So I cannot thank you enough for that. As we close out the year, this is a great way to do it. And as I move into 2024, getting closer to the house being, finished in a few months. So kind of like with Karen, I got to wait until things are fixed up before I can move in. So please like and subscribe. We're closing in on 300,000 subscribers. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. And most importantly, hit that bell icon and select all. That way you are up to date whenever I post content on the channel.